All right, we're back. Here we go. So, with that being said, the state of the Philadelphia 76ers as it currently sits, they are they definitely had the Miami Heat improve themselves in the arms race to be the most dominant, most talented team in the Eastern Conference as of now. And with that being said, it's a situation where the Bucks are better than them in my opinion. The Miami Heat are better than them in my opinion. The Indiana Pacers have something to say as far as being able to be in comparison to the Philadelphia 76ers. And, Ben Simmons has been there for a minute now, former number one draft pick. Joel Embiid's been there for a minute, former lottery pick for both of those guys for the Sixers franchise. And to me, it seems like Joel Embiid's game has improved. He gets called out, challenges different things of that nature, and he comes to the defense of himself, and he comes to the defense of the different things that are said to him in relation to how people try to knock his game and things of that nature as far as how he should go about his approach towards the game of professional basketball as a big man, as one of the most talented centers in the NBA. Not Joel Simmons, but Ben Simmons' game to me, it hasn't really improved much of any. So I put myself in a position of seeing and understanding, like, I don't think that neither one of those guys coexist well together, so somebody's got to go. They were saying that on NBA The Jump on ESPN earlier this afternoon. Well, earlier in the afternoon this past weekend, and they were just saying the fact that they got to get that guy up out of there. They got to get something's got to give. If I'm the upper brass of the Philadelphia 76ers, and if I'm Brett Brown and I'm hoping to keep my job as a head coach because they're saying that his hot seat is slowly but surely getting warmer, if you will, as well, then I would definitely put myself in a position to keep Joel Embiid and kind of let Ben Simmons go do his thing, because he's been in the NBA almost 5 seasons now. He hasn't really developed a 3-point jump shot as a 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" point guard. That's troubling to me, because if you haven't developed your 3-point shot, can you shoot? Can you really get a bucket shooting wise, in the mid game, in the mid range game, the perimeter, the corners, things of that nature? I'm not even talking about 3-point line area yet, but just inside of the 3-point line. Like, how much can you really score? He's great in transition. He's a great slasher. He's 6'10" almost, so he's supposed to play above the rim as a point guard. But there's certain things and certain nuances about his game that haven't developed yet, and I think they need to part, for my personal opinion. Staying on the NBA, Clint Capella is now an Atlanta Hawk. That's not so much big news as much as the big news of the Houston Rockets choosing to play small ball. They have nobody on their team right now over 6'6". PJ Tucker's their tallest player. He's their let me rephrase. They have nobody in their starting lineup over 6'6". PJ Tucker, one of the biggest sneakerhead in the NBA, by the way. He is their starting 5 now. He's their center now, pretty much. James Harden took the tip the other night against the Lakers. They beat the Lakers by 6 points or 4 points, if I'm not mistaken. So, it was really interesting to see that they played small ball and it worked. But I just wonder how long that small ball mentality will be able to work over time. Being able to do things in a flash of a pan kind of style in professional sports is something to be glorified nowadays, because everything is so easily covered and so easily tracked by way of just live sport media and live social media in the sport realm. But it'll be interesting to see what Houston will do going forward in relation to being able to play small ball, because it's not like they weren't buyers obviously during the trade deadline. They were sellers. Speaking of a team that I'm tired and sick and damn tired of being a damn seller, are my Detroit Pistons. I feel like this, Ken. I feel like, I don't know if it'll work or not, but for them to do it against the most formidable opponent in the Western Conference the other night, your Lakers, I felt like it looked good. I felt like it made sense for how they play basketball as a unit. But do I think it'll work for them to have any playoff success or anything like that? No. You're going to see guys like Nikola Jokic in the playoffs. You're going to see guys like Rudy Gobert in the playoffs. You're going to see guys potentially, if they can find a way into the 8 seeds, Portland and Hassan Whiteside. And obviously you got the Lakers, and obviously you got the Clippers with their respective big men, Montrezl Harrell, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, etc. on both guys I'm speaking about on both teams. So we'll see, Ken. I think that's interesting. I think that's a very interesting point that you give me. I appreciate your feedback on that, man. Please continue to comment back if you want. This is interactive with you guys as much as it is informative with you guys as well. So please feel free to comment back, Ken, if you want, if you so choose. Okay, cool. Well, also, another question for you personally, Ken. How do you feel about the fact that Darren Collison just decided to stay retired and not join the Lakers. Question for you, just personal question for you. Moving on now, Mookie Betts. He's officially a Los Angeles Dodger. Him and David Price were traded this past weekend for a myriad of different things and a myriad of different players that I don't really know much about, so don't let me lie to y'all. I will tell you that the Minnesota Twins received $10 million in compensation along with a pitcher by the name of Kente Maeda, a Japanese guy who was a pitcher for the Dodgers, who's now with the Minnesota Twins, along with a $10 million carpet bag attached to him. So it's pretty cool how millions of dollars move around in transactions in sports, as much as as much as players and people move around in sports and move around in professional sport. As far as baseball and basketball, you don't see that too much in the NFL, but there's more money in the NBA and in Major League Baseball. How do I know this? Look at how they pay the players. Period. Now, that's not to say the NFL doesn't make more money than the NBA or baseball, but if they're paying players that much more in professional baseball and basketball, it's got to be more money to be made. This is my science on it. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. George, good afternoon. Briggs, good afternoon, man. Appreciate it, man. I definitely agree with that. I definitely think y'all need a secondary point guard. I don't know. I feel like Jamal Crawford on line one for the LA Lakers, Ken Walton. What do you think about that? I don't think they killed their chances to win a championship suit because right now they're first in the Uncle George. What's going on, my boy? Big homie right there. But now, I don't think they killed themselves out because they're number one in the West right now. So they're looking down on everybody else in the Western Conference. I respect that. You respect that. We both understand that, Soup. But nonetheless, a guy like Darren Collison, another big man, another swing man, that would have been great to be able to help those guys out. So, like I just said, they lost out on Collison because he chose to stay retired. Because I think he wanted to go to the Clippers. I don't think he wanted to tell LA no as much as he wanted to stay retired, Ken Walton. But I feel like ultimately Jamal Crawford or a guy like that, or if J.R. Smith does have his head on straight when he's working out with the Lakers later on this week and he's in shape, which he's known to stay in great athletic shape, then we'll see. I definitely don't think they're done acquiring talent. It's just a matter of how now compared to who, And that's exactly the type of job that Jamal Crawford would provide for y'all. A great scorer in the second wave of you guys' lineup for sure. Really briefly, February 18th, the top two matchups for the beginning of the championship draw for the UEFA Champions League. Atletico Madrid and Liverpool, and PSG and Dortmund. Liverpool is led by a guy named Mohamed Salah. He's from Egypt. He's one of the best soccer players in the world. PSG is led, obviously, as you know, by guys like Kylian Mbappe, and who's the best player and the best French player in the world, and he's led by Neymar Jr., who's probably the most popular soccer player on the planet. Borussia Dortmund, they used to be led by a guy named Christian Pulisic, who now plays for Chelsea, but I don't really know who's really great for them anymore, but they are in the Champions League draw. The UEFA Champions League, by definition, is the best teams from the French First League, the top league in Italy, the top league in Spain, the top league in England, and the top league in Germany. I don't think I'm missing any teams. So yeah, that's how you define the UEFA Champions League, by the way. Let's move on to the XFL. And I want commentary from all this from people who are watching this, who play football, people who don't, people who watched it, people who didn't. 3.3 average a million viewer. 3.3 million viewer average this weekend. It peaked off between the 15-minute window of 4:45 and 5 p.m. yesterday of 4.5 million people averaged watching the XFL. It was an amazing brand to see. I thought it looked amazing. I thought the teams looked great. The best uniform, easily the Dallas Renegades. The most boring uniform I saw, easily the Tampa Bay Vipers. Not even close. I saw variety. I saw competition. I saw some sloppy, but some relatively respectable refereeing. You're looking at referees who are trying to break into the NFL, trying to break into major Power 5 conferences. A lot of these referees you saw yesterday are guys who do like Group of 5 college football, some Power 5 conference referees as well, but guys who were on the cusp of refereeing in the NFL. I thought they did a good job. You're dealing with passionate kids who, by the way, from what they said on the podcast, I'm thinking about my podcast, on the broadcast earlier this past week, or earlier this week, they were saying that, these guys haven't hit all training camp, nothing like that. So it's going to be a fast, violent game, and they allowed it to play fast and play violent for the most part. And this show is live from Huga, co-working company in Charlotte, North Carolina, off of Remount Road. I guess Reference Point, near the Wilkinson Boulevard Walmart. For those who are looking to podcast, very, very inexpensive price to do what I do here. Shout out Tay Flo and the entire Hugo family over here for allowing me to come in here and work my craft. Good afternoon, Ms. April. Thank you for tuning in. Moving forward now, let's look into a little bit of a rundown of the All-Star game. I won't try to be long-winded about this. I feel like Team LeBron has a better team, but since they've done the player draft, if people have noticed, LeBron always picks the players who are more like superstar, other galaxy-type players compared to a guy like Giannis or whoever the hell the other captain is for the All-Star game. And I feel like those guys, they take some really great hoopers that haven't quite arrived yet. So obviously, when you look at the elite guys versus the guys who are elite but they ain't arrived and nobody talk about them yet, you're probably gonna go with them elite guys. And it's LeBron. LeBron is, to me, he's the most intelligent player in the NBA. So I think he shows this a lot in the All-Star games of how much he distributes the basketball to guys who are otherworldly elite level talents. So, Reggie, question for you. Who do you think would be a better fit for the LA Lakers? This is a question for you as well, Ken Walton. Do y'all think J.R. Smith would be a better fit or Deion Waiters? Go. Whatever y'all feel about that, please choose the comment back. I would appreciate a reverb. Let's move on to the NFL mock. Well, let me pump my brakes for a second. Let's go back to the All-Star rundown. With the skills competition, you got Bam Adebayo, you got Pat Beverly, Spencer Dinwiddie, Chris Middleton from Porter-Gaud, South Carolina. He's from Charleston, so that's kind of my pick. I'm staying with the home. I'm staying with the home team. I feel like the All-Star format is kind of terrible, but I also feel like some of the things that they did for Kobe was pretty cool. I don't know how logical they were, but the fact that they tried to honor him was really, really dope. So I can definitely appreciate that. Domantas Sabonis from the Indiana Pacers. Pascal Siakam, Jason Tatum, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is replacing D. Rose, who's injured. That's exactly what I was telling Ken Walton. That Jamal Crawford makes a lot of sense for the Lakers. It makes a whole lot of sense for them. A lot of sense. If they get Jamal Crawford, the Lakers, they're going to be tough. Even with the Clippers having so much, even with the Clippers being a little deeper than LA, they're going to be tough as hell with Jamal Crawford. Like I said, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will be replacing D. Rose. He's one of my sleeper picks for the skills competition because he's about 6'5", 6'6", but he's really smooth with the basketball in a lot of different ways. So we'll see what happens with that. Pat Connaughton, white guy, Aaron Gordon, Dwight Howard, and Derrick Jones Jr. will be in the dunk contest. My boy on Instagram, Mr. Big Bands, a.k.a. Reginald Gwynn, he put me on game. Good afternoon, Ms. Liz. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your cooperation and your tuning in. Good afternoon to you as well, Miss April. And what I'll say is this. He put me on Derrick Jones Jr. years ago, like 3-4 years ago. He's like, bro, who is this guy? Because I know all the sports names and stats and stuff. So he's like, bro, who is this guy for the Miami Heat that's dunking on the whole world? I don't know who this kid is. I just know he's dunking on everybody. His name's Derrick Jones Jr. Now he knew who Derrick Jones was. I didn't, but he was putting me on game. And from there, I was like, okay, that makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? Okay, this is what we're going to do, and that's how it's going to work. Also, guys, anybody who's watching me live right now, if you could share the video and repost it for me to get more views, that would be really, really great. If you choose to, fine. If not knocking it, just trying to help a brick and mortar level podcast be able to go upward, be able to go this way. So if y'all can help me out with that, I greatly appreciate it. The 3-point contest, there's other guys I would name, but I'm taking the top 4 that I think potentially will win it. Please feel free for yourself to research whoever else is in the 3-point contest. Joe Harris, Brooklyn Nets. He already won it before, so to be a returning champion of the 3-point contest, that says something to me. That's important to me. Duncan Robinson, white boy from the Miami Heat, number 55. He was a rookie. If y'all remember, once again, watching Summer League with my boy Reggie early this summer in Charlotte. If you guys remember the Summer League with the Miami Heat this year, they had a white boy named number 55, Duncan. He might have had a different number. Duncan Robinson was his name. Big time jump shots. Big time jump shots, all over the place. You know what I mean? Big time 3-pointers, big time long distance shots all through Summer League. So I think he's one of my sleeper picks. Trae Young, Ice Trae the Game. I think he's a big time pick for me because when he gets hot, he's white hot. Scientifically, you cannot be any hotter than white hot. That's how hot he gets sometimes when he gets to scoring the ball. My boy Caven, appreciate you, man. One of my day one partners from way back in Spring Valley High School years ago, man. I appreciate you tuning in, man. Please feel free to comment on whatever you're hearing or listening to. You know what I'm saying? And once again, thank you for your cooperation, man. Thank you for your tuning in, man. Let's see. A little bit more. Okay, let's jump back for a second to this XFL, like I was talking about. Now, St. Louis, they were the only road team to win this weekend, led by the quarterback Jordan Ta'amu from Ole Miss. Really, really cool, poised under pressure kind of kid this weekend. Tampa Bay looked really bad. Aaron Murray looked really skittish. He did a lot of staring down one receiver and then not really reading what's going on, so it made me understand quickly why he didn't really last in the, and I appreciate the love, Kevin. I appreciate you, bro. But it goes to show me that Aaron Murray, he looked really skittish in the pocket. He looked really, really, like, he not saying unprepared, but he just looked like he was staring down one guy, and when that wasn't going on, he wasn't able to segue or be able to map out the rest of the route combination in the said play. Matt McGloin with New York and the New York Guardians, they look great. Excellent uniform. I like a little bit more variety in my uniform, Ken Walton, so I'm going to lean with Dallas having the best uniform, but I can't wait to see New York's road uni. And I can't wait to see LA's home uni. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. So, with that being said, DC had a very balanced attack. They played great defense. DC defenders, led by Cardale Jones, former Ohio State standout, and LA Chargers backup. They had really, really great defense that made plays when it was time to make plays. But they also had a very, very balanced offense with different parts on different levels and different positions within the offense that made it work and that make it look like how it needs to look. And so I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't know about that Zarian. I'll look that up this afternoon when I get off the air to be able to give you a definite answer, but I wouldn't be surprised because, the XFL would sign a guy like Vontaze Burfict in a heartbeat. Okay, so with the Seattle team, Seattle looked really, really good. The Seattle Dragons, their quarterback put them in some bad spots, though. They looked like a decent team, but their quarterback was really, really, he played really poorly to me. A guy named Brandon Silvers, he was forcing a lot of things. He had a couple of routes he didn't take a lot of what the defense was giving him, and it was very, very aggravating to see. I guess for the sense of a reference point, 5-10 years from now, who scored the first touchdown in the AFL? A kid named Austin Prohl. He's Ricky Prohl's son. How do I know this and why does this matter to me? Because I play for the Carolina Cobras, the arena team in Greensboro, North Carolina, and it's a situation where we've done a lot of work as far as off-season and in-season workouts and training and things of that nature at his facility, at his father's facility called Prolific Park in Greensboro off of Jessup Grove Road. So I just wanted to send him a special shout-out, man. See you out there balling, AP. See you out there balling, my boy. Keep at it, man. Stay doing what you're doing. Let's move on to the Duke-Carolina game from this past weekend. Those of you who don't know, if you go on my archive on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel page, and I'll have that information out today once I, kind of re-jump start this social media. I'm getting kind of slow on social media. I gotta get back right. But from there, with the social media, from there with the with people seeing that I'm a big time Duke fan, have seen me with Duke apparel on this show. What's going on, Cam? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Auntie Donna. Thank you for tuning in, baby. And from there, y'all will see I'm a big-time Duke fan. Those who know me personally know I'm a big-time Duke fan. Now, before we went to overtime Saturday night against Chapel Hill, I didn't think that we were going to win the game. So, playing out, if you haven't seen what happened, Trey Jones at the free throw line, he bounces off the ball, gets it back to him, ricochet, kind of in and out dribble, gets back to the middle about free throw line area, hits a mid-range jumper, boom, we going to overtime, we tie the game. Into overtime, everything's kind of in a frenzy or whatever. Trey Jones gets back at the line, ironically, gets another great rebound off the free throw, tips it out to goal wire, number 14, who can't score for shit, by the way. He's so damn scared with the ball in his hand. That shit don't make no damn sense. But from there, Trey Jones misses that ball. Goal wire gets the rebound, kicks it to Trey Jones. Trey Jones, another in and out move, dribbling up with a jumper. Wendell Moore, he airballs. Wendell Moore catches the airball cam, and we lay it in to win 98-96. We won by 2 points. So I saw the Austin Rivers jump shot live. Like, I watched that live in college at Johnson C. Smith. I saw that live. I saw the Chris Duhon reverse up and under live. Like, live real time. Didn't know this was gonna happen. Not a replay. So that was the craziest finish I had ever seen in a Duke Carolina game. It's not even close. Like, from the parody of the game off the get-go, you know. Well, that's the thing, Cam. He came back for his senior campaign for moments like last night. And let me elaborate on that, since you're giving me the commentary back and forth. I'm both ways, but let me talk to you for a second, my boy. The thing of it was, though, bro, was the fact that Trey Jones, he came back for Saturday night. This is what I mean. If you get a chance to replay the game sometime this week, if you watch the last 4.5 minutes of that game, every single bucket and into overtime, every single bucket that Cole Anthony or Garrison Brooks, number 15 from Chapel Hill, was giving, Trey Jones went right back down and gave him a bucket every single time. He turned around and gave him a bucket every single time. Not playing. Like, he was definitely in a position where he was very, very adamant about being in a space where he wanted to prove, okay, I can score. I can really score the ball as much as I want to score the ball, whenever I want to score. And y'all not sleeping. Y'all not hip to that. Because a lot of people don't understand. Trey Jones, top 3 most efficient point guard in the nation. He's always leading the point. He's always up there in the assists and up there in steals, but he's never up there in turnovers and things of that nature. Who is trying to call me while I'm on the air? I'm on the air, bro. But with that being said, that Duke Carolina game, easily a top 3 Duke Carolina game that I've seen in my 29 years on earth. Is not even close. Shout out to my Duke Blue Devils. Anytime we beat Chapel Hill, it's a great week. It's a great time. It's a great space to be in college basketball. And when we get Vernon Carey back, who y'all may foul out, I can respect that because he's our best player. But when we get him back with Wendell, with Trey, with Cassius Stanley, when y'all come back to Duke Cameron Indoor, we gonna beat y'all. It won't be close. Y'all won't go in overtime with us next time. I guarantee you that. Okay, so let me slow down for a little bit as far as pace-wise. Can't say I'm per se running out of news, but, you know, things nowadays don't really happen as super fast as people anticipate them, or with as many levels of substance, if you will. You know, sports nowadays, you know, the NFL's over, the XFL just jumped off this past weekend, the NBA's in full swing, but it's so much going on in the NBA every night, it's hard to cover it. And so, like, I'm not going to come over here and just give y'all a bunch of NBA scores, a bunch of NBA game reviews. Like, that's boring. It's oversaturating one sport. I try not to do that. You know, with that being said, I guess I'll speak on a little bit because I didn't get a chance to speak on it last week because I wasn't on the air. Super Bowl 54, just pulling out a couple things I really saw. Really dope to see Andy Reid get his first ring. Good afternoon, Shard, my boy, man, my day one partner, man, my boy, Shard Spence. Thank you for tuning in, my boy. Andy Reid getting his first ring. I'm a diehard Eagles fan, 23 years. It was good to see Big Red get his ring. I wish you would did that shit back in the day in Super Bowl 39 against the Patriots. We let it down. Mike Vrabel catch a tight end option on us at linebacker, but it's cool. I'm going to hold that down. You did what you need to do to get your first one. I'm very, very happy that you got it. Frank Clark, amazing playoffs. Definitely balled out. DeForest Buckner, to me, was the best player on the field for the San Francisco 49ers the night of Super Bowl. Couldn't be blocked, couldn't be double teamed, things of that nature. He was definitely a formidable opponent against the offensive line that is the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't think they did a great job of blocking him. DeForest Buckner, to me, is one of the better defensive linemen interior that nobody talks about. And I think going forward over the next couple of seasons, he's going to start showing y'all that on the field. And then, if not the 49ers, somebody in free agency is going to show him that, and a lot of money. Picture Malik Jackson from the Denver years. Picture Malik Jackson from the Denver years, about 2.5 inches taller, and he plays with more stoutness at the point of attack. That's basically what you got with DeForest Buckner. Jimmy Garoppolo played this big. He played very small in the Super Bowl. He missed a couple of very, very important throws that a friend of mine that's a professional quarterback would have made. And then I know that professional quarterbacks in the NFL that he and my boy that's a quarterback that we're friends that we definitely are fans of would have definitely made that throw. San Francisco defense, overall, their scheme made a lot of sense. Play 2-man under all night long. 2 safeties at the top. Stay deeper than the deepest. Don't let Tyreek Hill run by you. Don't let Samuel run by you. But then the cornerback Mosley, ironically, but his name ain't spelled like mine. He ain't got the drip on his last name like I do. But his is Moseley, some stupid shit like that. But yeah, but Buddy playing a cover 2 zone in the slot. He's a slot DB. So you're playing deeper than the deepest. But on film, you've been showing all year that you're passing along whatever comes to the middle half and beyond. That's behind the linebackers before the DBs, everybody, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. And from there, Tyreek saw this on an over route and it's like, okay, since you think you're going to pass me off to the safety, no, buddy, I'm going to bend it back and go back to my left and leave me open in a void because you're going to pass it off to come back up under my zone. You know what I mean? And that's how that was going to work. And he ended up working like that, and he ended up being in a position to where, he made a play and he did what he needed to do. So, I don't, as far as Patrick Mahomes completing the pass to Tyreek Hill once he got open on that breaking off of the route concept. Just a little note for that, I guess, be disciplined. You football players, play disciplined football. Play football the way it's supposed to be, but be smart. Like, that's the point of being instinctive. You ever see a guy say, hey, a kid's really instinctive? That means that he knows more savvy than people give him credit for, which puts him in a position to make plays that maybe not are supposed to be made. That's what the definition of football instincts, of football savvy is. He didn't play with a lot of savvy on that play, and he got his ass beat. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happens. Super Bowl odds for next year in this order. I had the Vegas numbers are out. If you want to look those up, feel free. But I talk gambling, but not so much. But in this order, Kansas City, Baltimore, San Francisco, New Orleans, the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Green Bay Packers. Now, only interesting team I see on this list is the Pittsburgh Steelers. If they come back full force next year, excuse me, with a formidable Ben Roethlisberger, I can see that, but I don't at the same time. Their defense is great. Top 3 defense in the NFL. But nonetheless, we shall see. And in my opinion, Zay, I wouldn't necessarily say they had more or less experience, but San Francisco's head coach already knows how to fuck off a Super Bowl. He did it again. So I can't say it really any more clear than that, any better than that. Ooh, excuse me. Ed Reed was named as the chief of staff for the Miami Hurricanes football program last week. 24th overall pick in the 2002 draft. He had 21 interceptions in college, which left him at Miami as the all-time leading interceptions receiver or interceptions holder or receptor of interceptions all time in the history of Miami Hurricanes football on defense. He had a liberal arts degree from the University of Miami, class of 2003, if I'm not mistaken, and a graduating class of 2003. And he was a college football and a University of Miami Hall of Famer. So it's really, really good. Once again, I'm a diehard Hurricane. Welcome home, Ed. Definitely glad to see you back in Coral Gables, trying to make it right, trying to make a program that I think college football is begging to be great again. But we got some shit on the way for y'all lads. We got Quincy Roach, All-American transfer from Temple. We got De'Aaron King. The way I'm talking you up, De'Aaron King, you have better ball out, bud. Because I've been telling everybody who wouldn't listen to me that you're going to ball something crazy for us. Former University of Houston air raid style guy, played in the Dana Holgorsen offense for the last couple of seasons down in Houston. I don't really know what our new OC, I forget his name off the top of my damn head, but I don't really know what our new OC is going to bring to that, but we shall see. But we got a guy who's very rarely do we get a dynamic athlete at the quarterback position at Miami. The last time we had one that I could time. My feet's acting trip today. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. I just had to move spot to keep the Wi-Fi going on for this one Facebook Live feed. Yeah, okay, I'll make sure I'm on the right phones. Okay, bet. Okay, so let's move along. Oh, soccer news. More soccer news. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he's touched down in Italy. He's playing for AC Milan, red, black, and white team. As far as their color, he's playing for AC Milan, and he's absolutely killing it right now. He had a goal. Oh, Ed Reed's role at the University of Miami now, he is the chief of staff, which means that that's basically a glorified way of saying that you're the boss of the director of football operations. So for how they want football operations to operate and how they want them to run at the University of Miami, Ed Reed doesn't have final say, but he gets to put a lot of his opinion into what he thinks and how he thinks the University of Miami football brand should look going forward. So that's his role in Miami, Reggie, to answer your question. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for chiming in and asking, man. Thank you guys for all of y'all interaction that I get on a regular basis, and all of you guys chiming in and asking me questions and giving me you guys' opinion. Please feel free. At this point of the podcast, we'll open it up kind of for just like open questions. Anything that you guys want to see on Facebook, anything you guys want to ask me on Instagram, please feel free going forward. As we are starting to come to kind of the end of the show. Okay, here we go. We'll get into the New York Knicks, and then I'm going to probably finish it up with an NFL mock draft. So, the New York Knicks, they're owned by James Dolan. I don't even know who their fucking head coach is right now, to be honest with you. Their best player, RJ Barrett. Yeah, safe to say. Their best player is a rookie. They're easily one of the most embarrassing professional sports franchises out there. Like, it's not even close. And mind you, the New York Knicks are the most expensive NBA team to own. Their net worth is at $4.1 billion as of, like, the beginning of this year, like, beginning of this calendar year of January, like, of 2020. You know, they have a terrible owner who doesn't. He seems like, I don't even know how much James Dolan knows about basketball, as much as he's a big-time power player and mover and shaker in New York City. You know, they're kind of like the Dallas Cowboys, but it's like worse. It's like the Dallas Cowboys with the flu. And what I mean by that is this: they're the highest ranking, or they're the highest costing franchise in the NBA to be able to purchase. But the aggravating shit that comes with that, unlike the Cowboys, is they don't try to be competitive. And when they make the moves that they make, they're so ridiculously like stupid. They're like you let KD, Kyrie, D'Angelo Russell, Kemba Walker, a few years ago, LeBron James, you know what I mean? You let all these guys, you know, get away from New York. Like, y'all don't bring in nobody like really, really super great. You got blessed with drafting Kristaps Porzingis who everybody thought was going to be the next damn Darko Milicic, and he was great. Then you shipped him away for Dennis Smith Jr., but y'all don't want to let Dennis Smith Jr. take off like they was in Dallas. But then again, Rick Carlisle's offense was perfect for Dennis Smith Jr. Golly, imagine Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka and Kristaps in Dallas right now. Sheesh, that shit would be crazy. But, you know, overall with the Knicks, man, I just feel like James Dolan needs to sell the team. I don't think it makes a lot of sense, a lot of the things he's doing and trying to get accomplished there, and I don't really agree with it. I remember a day and a time with Latrell Sprewell and Kurt Thomas and Patrick Ewing and Allen Houston and Chris Childs, you know what I'm saying, and Mark Jackson and Anthony Mason, and back when the Knicks were some dogs, and it's like now the New York Knicks are just an afterthought in the NBA. You know, I find that to be very, very disheartening. I don't really understand that for the life of me. We'll move and segue to our mock draft information, or to our mock draft. This mock draft today is mock draft 2.0 that I've come up with. Now, I'm giving picks throughout this mock draft, but I also may speak on a pick that I may disagree with and who else I think you should take in that position. So, first overall to the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. Once again, I'm sticking with the Joe Burrow pick. I can't really find myself in a position to do otherwise with that. But what I will say going forward is I think that he will certainly be the most serviceable player for the Cincinnati Bengals in this draft per what they need on the field to be successful. Chase Young going to the Washington Redskins makes a lot of sense. Their defense good defense got better, period. Tua Tagovailoa to the Miami Dolphins. If his hip checks out, take a shot, but you could possibly get zero ROI, return on investment. So just be careful with that. Isaiah Simmons, from Clemson University. linebacker hybrid. Great pick for the New York Giants because he can be able to do so much he can be so much of a bigger piece of glue in your defense. And I think that would definitely help you guys out a lot. Jeffrey Okudah, cornerback going to the Detroit Lions. I have a problem with this pick. I think they would end up taking Jerry Jeudy from the University of Alabama, who I think is the most pro-ready prospect in the drafted receiver. But they do need another corner to complement Darius Slay, who's an all Pro Bowl style guy, level guy. So we'll see. Justin Herbert going to the Chargers. Derek Brown III going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that's a home run pick if they can get that damn pick. And the reason why I say that is Calais Campbell, Josh Allen, possibly Yannick Ngakoue if you can pay him, and Derek Brown III at the nose. Oh my God, that shit would be a fucking monster down in Jacksonville. It's not even close. Tristan Wirfs, the number one big-bodied right tackle, potentially kicking the guard prospect on the board this year. Basically, a real thick-bodied guy. Big old boy from Iowa, 6'5", 337, can play right tackle, can play both your guards. Not necessarily with the elite level foot speed to play left tackle, but we shall see. Javon Kinlaw from the University of South Carolina going 9th overall to the Carolina Panthers. Don't really agree with the pick. If y'all don't take an offensive skill player or somebody that can help y'all play quarterback or something like that, y'all ass ain't picking. You ain't thinking about what you need to pick. I don't think y'all need a D lineman as bad as y'all need a wideout or a tight end. Just saying. Only tight end out here right now that potentially would be a first-round pick would be the John Mackey Award winner, a kid named Harrison Bryant from Florida Atlantic University, so we shall see. The Las Vegas Raiders with the 10th pick, taking Jerry Jeudy from the University of Alabama. If Jerry Jeudy isn't off the board to a team like Detroit or to a team like the Carolina Panthers, I definitely see LA taking him. Big, fast, strong, and they need a number one receiver in Oakland. Like, I need a haircut. Like, they need it bad. So, that's definitely how I feel about that. Coach Ramon Robinson, thank you for tuning in, man. I appreciate your support, big dog. You still out there got them quarterbacks still spinning it. Hey guys, if y'all need a quarterback, if y'all have a quarterback that needs type training in the greater South Carolina, Charlotte area, Atlanta area, Coach Ramon Robinson. Ramon, Ramon Robinson. Y'all check him out, man. Y'all follow him on Facebook and also look at him on Instagram. His Instagram is Coach QB Coach RR17. All one word, all lowercase letters. QB Coach RR17. Ramon Robinson, quarterback coach. Thank you for tuning in, Coach. The end of my mock draft as of today, we'll go with the 11th pick. CeeDee Lamb going to the New York Jets. Robbie Anderson may not be there. CeeDee Lamb potentially would be a better pick. So, I think CeeDee Lamb would be a better receiver than Robbie Anderson, but Robbie Anderson has elite level speed. He's like 4'3", and he's like 6'2", 6'3". So we'll see. But alternative picks for the Jets, potentially offensive lineman, potentially a pass rusher. We'll see. Also Coach Robinson, if you got any offensive or defensive linemen in North Carolina and South Carolina that are looking to get some work or looking to get better, preferably in the Charlotte and Greensboro, North Carolina areas, please message me and let me know on Instagram. We'll talk. That being said, guys, check my notes. Never like to leave anything on my notes. Well, yeah, we're relatively shorter today. I told y'all going forward about two episodes ago, before the Kobe Bryant episode, things are going to be a lot quicker, a lot faster. I'm at like 38 minutes on my ticker. I'm doing good. Probably 48 minutes to an hour, give or take. But this has been episode 13 of the UntiedJordans Podcast. My name is Jordan Mosley. Once again, shout out to my co-host, Stephen Untied. He wasn't here today. Hope to have him back in studio next week. Going forward, the XFL this weekend, NBA action Tuesdays and Thursday nights, college basketball, things of that nature. Deontay Wilder, 222. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 2. Big time fight. Oh, by the way, Dominic Reyes and John Jones, UFC 147 from this past weekend. Very, very great fight. I felt like Dominic Reyes definitely should have won the fight. But this is the first time that I've seen purposeful like entertainment shtick in the UFC. Kind of like what I mean, like the equivalency of that is how they act in the WWF. That's what I'm saying. A guy who clearly won a fight or won a match and they lost the match, you know what I'm saying? Or he lost the fight, And I feel like ultimately that shit is a trip. And I also feel like the fact that Dana White could create something, he could generate, that type of opinion or that type of like drama around the sport at such a late way, I think it's super, super cool what he did. I cannot wait to see Jones and Reyes too. But I can't wait to see John Jones try to go up to the heavyweight division and beat up on Stipe Miocic and some of those heavyweights. That's going to be something to see because, yeah, you quick and you fast and you agile and all that. And granted, you're a very nimble athlete in the ring. I can tell that because Chandler Jones is your brother who had 19 and a half this year sacks in the NFL. But by the same token, though, when those bigger boys hit you, I want to see how you react, John Jones. I'm really, 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 really important, really, really interested in seeing that. But yeah, man, if there's no other, I can't really see anybody else really asking anything else. I thank you guys for everybody that I've had tune in. The 40, 50 plus people I've seen chime in on Facebook, the other 15 to 20 of y'all on Instagram, man. Always grateful, always appreciative, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you once again for tuning in. This has been episode 13 of the UntiedJordans Podcast. We'll be back next Monday from Charlotte, North Carolina once again. This is Jordan Mosley. Peace. You guys have a wonderful Monday afternoon.